Hey guys, yeah. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're back here. It's time to learn. All right, enough tomfoolery and shenanigans. It's time to learn something. In this game, it's very important. Not only, I've said this before, not only doing damage and damaging the enemy. One of the important skills in this game that you need to learn is how to avoid taking damage. And there's many different ways you can do this. And some of the key ways that you can do it are to learn how to protect your hull. It's called being hull down. Being hull down doesn't necessarily mean being on a ridgeline. It means protecting your hull. Angling, side scraping. There's many different techniques that you need to learn. And if you can master these, you have more survivability and you get to fight a little bit longer. Especially when you're in a tier 10 game. So one of the key things that you should do when you get high tier like this is the strategy of sitting on top of a hill. Sitting on top of a hill completely exposed is it's one of the things, one strategy that you need to learn to employ. Alright, so let's just keep watching here. Now remember that this particular game is not about doing damage. I'm going to try and learn how to block damage and use these techniques that could help you. These techniques are learned as you work your way through the tiers. You learn this at low tiers and you gain your experience, because it's very important to do by the time you get to, well, tier 10 and 11. So it's like, place yourself in the open like this and just drive forward. And if a Death Star shoots you, that 1,750 alpha that the Death Star has, it won't get that doesn't get counted in the damage blocked statistic. It just doesn't even render. It's like a ghost shell. Well, if you're in the open, if you just drive in the open and with no cover around you, then these Death Stars you'll have these ghost shells to protect you. They're programmed in the game. You don't have to actually just let those happen. They kind of happen in the background. So, okay. So, you can see that if the Death Star now changes ammunition from really expensive Hesh so that he has a 1,750 damage ghost shell, he can then have a 1,150 damage AP shell that just bounces. That does get counted in the block damage statistics. Now, one of the correct strategies is to let the enemies sit behind the cover while you sit in the open. Open to like Death Stars and any other large sniper tanks that are at the back of the map. That was a good strategy. So, as those tanks are trying to use the old techniques of being hull down and behind cover, you have to learn to just trust the designs that are presented in the game by Wargaming and just sit in the open and let those tanks that are wasting their time behind rubble and cover, as you might want to call it, let them do that. If you just drive forward, you can distract those tanks from concentrating on your teammates. Display the strategy again. Is just to sit in the open, really. Allow them to have the cover. Sit in the open. Especially when a badger has almost a side shot on you. It's a good one. After a while, when the enemies realize that you're employing such terrific strategy, you're a master at not allowing damage to take place on you, they'll usually stop shooting at you. And they'll start shooting at your teammates, which is a bonus. As you can see, this tier 10 tank, the mouse, is not really employing the correct strategy. He's trying to angle and turn his turret, use cover. And it's just... it's laughable, really. It's very... it's humorous. He's being funny. The old ways. The old ways. The new ways. You have to accept the new... look at these tanks behind cover. Another Death Star shot. Another 1,150. The track wheel will handle that. And it's these enemies, it's their own fault for not embracing the new way of doing things. Trying to use cover and tactics like side scraping and angling. It's laughable. And I'm wondering how long it'll take the player base to catch on to some of these new high-powered strategies that exist in the game now. You know, it's very... sometimes it takes time for the player base to catch on to the new meta. And he's just stopping here to type in some comments in the comment section. When a new meta appears before you, you must embrace it. The new meta, obviously programmed by Wargaming, is the sit in the open, unaware of what's going on meta, which allows you to successfully protect your tank in a very in a good way. And he's wondering, why isn't this new meta working for me? That's twice that the just drive in the open is there you go. There you go. It's perfect. Yeah. Now, the only thing that he could do better, he's given us a fairly good illustration here, but the only thing that he could do better is to turn sideways. If he were to turn sideways, I think show your lower plate and turn sideways, I think is probably the best type of strategy you can have. There he goes, he's turned sideways. And there you have it. If you want to embrace the new meta, you should rewatch this replay. And it's a perfect teaching tool for you to understand how the game works now. It's just there will be those that will resist the change. Some people will resist, and they'll consume themselves with side scraping and using cover and being hull down and reversed side scraping and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, this particular example, it's not about the amount of damage done. He only did 8,131. We're not talking about how much damage you can dish out. We're talking about how much damage can be blocked by using this be oblivious in the open strategy. And you can see that he did okay. He blocked 20,400 damage without wasting any time with the old techniques. Out with the old, in with the new. It's like the young generation. And us old folks, we have to get used to the new way of doing things. You can't fight it. This is progress. Progress is what's on display here. And as we all know, all progress is positive. We all know that, don't we? I'll catch you all on the next one.